All right, so guys, I was asked, and I haven't been putting out as usual through this Corona crisis, the highlight videos. I cut one up yesterday on YouTube channel, and kind of had a different view, trying to make sure everybody is compacted and paying attention to what's important. So I was asked, leaving the room open all day during this crisis, not just to give people more of a lending hand, but to keep people together in a positive sense more than otherwise. I don't want people to be alone. I don't want to be alone. I don't want my guys to be alone. I think everybody should be positive. And so virtually, we don't have to social distance. And so after the social distancing comes, I want there to be social smothering, you know, hopefully not so much where I get the police called on me, but you never know. So we're going to come out of that. And that's why I'm leaving the room open all day. So some of the highlight for today, I won't go over a lot of it, but towards the end and into the close, I was asked, what do you think in the last half hour? And I said, well, I might not attach a trade to this and make money, but I do have a feeling that they're not going to want to go in selling. I think they're going to want to go into tonight with a possible vote long and then sell after the vote potentially. So that's been the driver, that they're pricing in. They're going to do this stimulus. And I think they wanted not to go in short tonight, where they might do it early tomorrow morning. I also think that there's something underlying strength in this market, potentially with the get ahead of this drug working. So for the first time, they've are putting out this combo drug that is off label, as the medical people would say it, the malaria drug combination of Z-Pak. And I'm not saying either one because I can't pronounce words very well, but the combination has had anecdotal evidence of working. And so I'm not a doctor. I don't claim to be. I just, have talked to a couple of doctors and they're optimistic about it, but doctors and scientists are great because they need to see evidence and they don't like to play with human life. So they're not seeing as much evidence as they otherwise would, but they're on the fly with this stuff. So they're trying to there's a lot more people going to be on this combo drug by this time next week. So I think starting today, and you could put Tuesday in the books, Tuesday, March 24th. And I think by the weekend, and I'm just speculating, the market might have been pricing in some optimism that this drug is reducing the symptoms and maybe eliminating it. And I don't like to hope, and I just said this before I started recording, hoping is dangerous as a trader. When one skill turns to hope, you're in trouble as a trader. So I was adopted hoping. I don't want to put my hope, but I hope with my fingers crossed, just for the greater good, that this works. It has nothing to do for the markets. It's nothing to do with anything other than less people die, less people are in pain, less people are fearful, and we could stomp on this thing. I put out a tweet, and I think I took it down. It's hard to find the enemy when you can't identify it, like in World War II and even 9/11. You knew what the enemy looked like or what the enemy was. The enemy right now is invisible. And if you see the image of the coronavirus, you see a ball with red spikes in it, right? That's the enemy. And I said, F the red spikes on Twitter. I didn't say the word, I just put the letter. And I think they took it down. That's the enemy. That's identified. I'm sick of that image. It's cool that 7 billion people on planet Earth are all trying to stomp on this thing, right? And there's fights and there's disagreements and this, you could have done this and I should have done that. And what's the matter? Hey, that's fine. But we're on the fly here. We're all in this together. So we're trying to trade this together. And it's your job, if you trade, to trade the ebbs and flows of a market, the bullish to bearish, the bearish to bullish. This has been unique. It's traded a bit different, volatile, but sometimes just extraordinarily volatile, and other times it controlled volatility. I traded through 9/11. I traded through the crisis, financial crisis in 07 and 08, the debt crisis in 2011, August and September. And then before that, I think Greece was in 2010. The tapering by Bernanke was kind of short-lived. And then Ebola, all that stuff. I'm missing some. But inflation a couple of years ago for a month was a problem, and that was huge. And then China getting off to a weak start, I think the beginning of 17 was huge. The point I'm trying to make is this seems to be different, where it's controlled volatility. I got off topic because I'm really trying to just make the point to keep people from avoiding the happy talkers like, oh, everything is good, you'll be fine, what's the matter with you? And then the other side of the gloom and doomers, all right? Gloom and doomers go away, happy talkers go away. Let's be optimistic with the facts. So someone asks me today, what do you think going into the close? And it was about 2:15 Central. And I said, I just think, and we were up here, I think we were around in here. I said, I think we're going to want to close strong. And we go up here and we cannot make new highs. The highs on the session were 27, like, and we're up at 25. All right. Boom, we come off. And it did transition from bullish to bearish. And what I was telling guys is you're getting a lot of people now that got to get flushed out that wish they would have sold it underneath the old highs. So you're going to have some downside. All right. What to watch for is as we moved through the last 10 minutes or so was the other side of the valley. If you get a turn to go back up, you have what's called less longs at some point in here than you had in here. See, the longs in here were pissed that they didn't cover up here. So they had to get pushed out. How far that's going to go, you don't know. But what you look for is the turn where now, you know, if you're long, you're crazy to get out here. They were just going to run right through it. And so this was the more immediate rally right into the close, the 3 o'clock cash close, which find yourself, we have other charts to look at that I'm not going to pull in, but find yourself where they're stuck shorts or stuck selling. And as soon as it got through the middle of this, you know, they had a nice hop. You see that quick hop? I mean, here's the thing. Anytime something moves fast, and I don't mean to sound edgy, but anytime something moves fast, people miss it. So if a real pretty girl runs by you, you knew she was pretty, but you really got to get another look. And that's what happened there. You're like, wow, that was a good move. Wow, that was a good move. So that creates a chance that the upside's the right side. Tempo and speed is important. There's no coincidence that it followed through after this moment right in here. Anytime something moves fast, more people miss it. So then they cracked through the middle of this area, and then they were able to eventually close, or not close, but had highs of 40, I think, 41. They closed back down after the cash close, but here was the rally, the continuation. What's really important was that this moment right in here, the overall transition of moving fast. And so these things, we don't just sit back and say, what if? All real-time stuff that we talk about, that we analyze, and that we read, because the toughest part of trading is reading the real time. When? In the real time, right? And that's what we do. And the only reason why I do these highlights is because I know I've got dozens of guys that have heard me say what I'm telling you now in real time. And so none of the stuff I talk about is stuff I wish I said. It's stuff that we do say. It's great to be wrong. Don't be wrong for long. Always keep that tight to your vest when you're trading. Don't follow people either in this crisis or in trading that are happy, or gloom and doom. You could take that advice for anything, not just in this crisis. You want the happy talk guys that are out there marketing, then good for you. I don't think you're going to find much success with the guys that tell you how easy it is and how easy it is for them. But then on the other side, you don't want the gloom and doomers, right? The guys that are super negative. You want to be optimistic. You want to be positive. Life's too short. Like my dad told my brother, he says, when my brother became a boss of a bunch of guys, he says, you want to be fair, and you want to make sure that just because you're the boss, you want to make sure not everybody's treated equal, but everybody's treated fairly. And he says, and most importantly, don't be an a-hole. Life's too short. And I thought, wow, I never heard my dad use that word. But my point is that you may have a losing trade, move on. You have 2 losing trades, move on. Most importantly, don't let your strategy trade you. All right? Take control. Don't let your strategy trade you. Don't let your idea trade you. These are your decisions. You own them and you embrace them. Don't blame anyone like politicians do. Just manage the hell out of that risk and come to the room. I've left the room open all day, but I've also left it open for free for guys for a period of a week or 2. I can't continue to do that. It's not fair to the guys that pay, and I won't, but I wanted to give people a sense that we don't want anybody alone. So good luck, stay safe, and you're always better off if you listen. Listen first. To the room, guys. Be careful. We'll see you at 8 Central in the morning.